Okay. I don't know what's been going around as far as like sickness, but listen, okay, listen. I'm feeling it. Whatever it is, I'm feeling it. This desk, this was broken when I got here. Okay, I don't know what this food is, or whatever. That's above me. Today I want to talk about what it is that I think is the hardest part of teaching. To me, there's a lot of, aspects of this job that are challenging. I don't even have to list them all. You see firsthand, the issues that I face. But if I'm really but But if I'm really honest, I would have to say that I think that the hardest part of my job today is that my students are attached to me. The hardest part of teaching, basically, is when your students are attached to you. I was absent Monday of this week, and I had a sub, right? And this was actually one of the good times that I had a sub, because I have stories where my kids have terrorized substitutes, but we'll talk about that later. But I was absent, I had a sub, and I came back to work the next day, and I had a mask on because, I was feeling good or whatever. And when I tell you, these kids practically bomb rushed me, it was ridiculous. And they're like, why weren't you here? What were you doing? Where were you at? We don't want you missing no days. What's wrong with you? Like, they just snapping on me for taking a sick day. And I'm like, excuse me? They're just going in about why they didn't have a good time with the sub, and she was doing this and she was doing that, and you don't need to miss no more days. If you can't take your trips on a weekend, and you don't need to go. And I tell you, these kids was letting me have it, and I'm like, first of all, y'all raised hell with me, so y'all acting like, oh no, the reason why we cut up is because you were gone and we wanted you to be here. Y'all act like that when I'm here, so what are you talking about? But I've had so many, like, scenarios like that or whatever with my students, and that's literally part of the reason, not part of it, it's most of the problem that I'm actually still here. When I first made my video about, me quitting my job, the only reason that I am still here is because of my students. I care about my kids. I know I make a lot of videos about like the craziness of teaching or whatever, but when it really comes down to why I get up every day and come to work, it is for my students. Anybody else in here can kick rocks. Like, I could care less. I really don't. I come to work every day because I like my kids. There are some people that I work with that are cool, that I don't have an issue with, and that's a plus. But I don't wake up every day and come here for my coworkers. No, I come here every day because I know what it's like for children to not have a teacher. And I just didn't want that to be my kids. They're around here sitting in an auditorium all day or whenever. So some of the classes that don't have teachers, whenever their period comes around, they're either sitting in the auditorium for that entire time, or they're having like different subs come in every single day. One little girl, I was talking to her, and she doesn't have a teacher for, I want to say, her chemistry class, and she was saying how she has like a D, and she's like, Miss, I'm failing a class that I've never even met a teacher for. She's like, I don't understand who's putting in grades. She's like, we have a different sub every single day, and then when a sub is not there, they have us sitting in the patio or sitting in the gym or sitting in the auditorium. She's like, I haven't even gotten no work, so how am I failing? Like, and it really bothered her. Thank God she was able to go to the front office and talk to somebody about it. But she was one of those kids that really cared about her education, and it's horrible. Like, those classes that don't have teachers, it is literally insane. Like, the kids are usually all over the place, don't have much structure. The ones that really care to be there, they are not getting what they need. The grade book is all jacked up. Like, I remember last semester we had so many issues with grades. Well, not we, wasn't my problem, but with grades for the classes that don't have an actual teacher, because they have subs every single day, and then every now and then, you know, another teacher will make an assignment for them to do, and it'll be just like a simple little worksheet. Whole time they haven't even learned anything to be able to do this work. So if I'm grading them off the one thing that they were given when they were never even taught anything, that's a bit insane. And when it came down to me deciding to leave, I felt like I didn't want that to be my kids. And I can honestly say, like, the hardest part, I remember talking to one student and I was like, you know, what would you do if I didn't come back after break? And she's like, no, please, please. And I only asked her that because I work on something closely with her, and we work together. So I'm like, would you be able to do that thing by yourself? And she was just like so distraught, because she was just so distraught about the whole situation. And I don't know, that's why part of me is just trying to make it to the end of the school year. I will not start a new school year and like get attached to more kids, but you know, every day it's definitely about my students. And also, I feel like I'm also one of the people, one of the few, I can say, I don't know how many people, I don't know everybody here, so I don't know who is like me, but I know that I see through a lot of the foolishness, and my kids know that I do. So a lot of times I am an outlet for them, and I don't ever want them to come here and not have that. So yeah, I can definitely say the hardest part of teaching is definitely being attached to your students, because all hell can break loose. Everything can go wrong. The school board can do you dirty. The front office can do you dirty. Everything can go wrong. But when your kids come in here talking about, oh, miss, I went to the store this morning and I brought you some candy. Or I remember you said your favorite color was green, so I brought you this flower. Like, things like that, they make you, you know, put up with the other things that are not so amazing. And of course, I'm not, you know, an advocate for staying in a horrible situation for any reason, but I can honestly say that because of how much I care about and love my students, I'm pushing through, you know, to kind of be here until the end of the school year. But yeah, that's it for Teacher Tales. Stay tuned for the next one.